The Cubs had a 3-game series against the Miami Marlins, so we're going to go over all 3 of those games. We're going to look at what went right and what went wrong, and we'll have a quick preview of Rats weekend between the Cubs and the White Sox. All of that is happening soon on this episode of Cubs 360. Cubs fans, this is Jack from Cubs 360. Thank you very much for tuning in to episode 16 of the Cubs 360 podcast. If you're interested in this content, feel free to like and subscribe, and also follow us on Twitter at Cubs360X. So this is my series recap to the Marlins series. The Cubs take 2 out of 3 from the Marlins, so let's get to game number 1. So the pitching matchup is Cal Quantrill versus Colin Ray. In the top of the first, Edwards lines out to center, Sanchez hits a base hit to left, and Ramirez will ground it into a double play. In the bottom of the inning, PCA struck out swinging, Kyle Tucker grounds out to second, and Suzuki fouls out to third. In the top of the second, Sauer struck out swinging, Mervis struck out swinging, and Simon fouls out to third. In the bottom of the second, Bush flies out to right, Kelly lines out to third, and Nico Hoerner will fly out to center. In the top of the third, Hill grounds it out to short, Hicks will hit a base hit to right, Paulie pops out to second, and Edwards will hit a base hit to right, Hicks will go to third, and Edwards gets picked off at first, and Colin Ray was pitching to Sanchez in the midst of it. In the bottom of the inning, Dansby Swanson lines out to third, Amaya hits a double to left, John Birdie lines out to second, PCA gets walked, and Tucker flies out to left. In the fourth inning, Sanchez will ground out to second, Ramirez pops out to second, Stowers hits a base hit to right, and Mervis flies out to right. In the bottom of the fourth, Suzuki will get walked, Bush will hit fly out to right, Kelly will also fly out to right, and Suzuki got caught stealing second base, and Nico Hoerner was at the plate. In the top of the fifth, Simon grounds out to second, Hill struck out swinging, and Hicks grounds out to second. In the bottom of the fifth, Nico Hoerner will hit a base hit to left, and he stole second, and then Dansby Swanson will hit a home run to left center field to break the scoreless tie. It is 2-0 Cubs in the bottom of the fifth. Amaya will then hit a double to left, Birdie will line out to first, and Veneziano will pitch for the Miami Marlins. He will relieve Quantrill. PCA struck out swinging, and Amaya will go to third on a wild pitch by Veneziano. Kyle Tucker will hit a triple to right, which will score Amaya to make it 3-0. And then Seiya Suzuki will hit a home run to left center field to make it 5-0 Cubs. And then Bush struck out looking to end the inning. In the sixth inning, Paulie will line out to right, Edwards will ground out to second, Sanchez will get walked, and Ramirez struck out swinging. In the bottom of the inning, with Gibson pitching for the Marlins, Kelly grounds out to short, Nico Hoerner will ground out to third, Dansby Swanson will hit a base hit to center field, Amaya will also hit a base hit to center, which will send Swanson to second, Birdie will ground it to fielder's choice to third, Amaya will be out at second. In the top of the seventh, with Ray still pitching, Stowers will get walked, and Mervis grounds it into a double play. Simon will hit a base hit to left, and Hill will hit a home run to left center field to make it 5-2, and then Palencia will relieve Colin Ray, and Hicks grounds out to second. In the bottom of the inning, PCA pops out to short, Kyle Tucker will ground out to short, and Seiya Suzuki will strike out swinging. In the top of the eighth, Paulie will foul out to third, Edwards struck out looking, Sanchez gets walked, and Ramirez struck out looking. In the bottom of the eighth, Bush will ground out to second, Kelly will get walked, Hoerner will line out to right, and Swanson will fly out to right. Pomeranz pitching for the Cubs in the top of the ninth, Lopez will go to third base, Sauer struck out looking, Wagaman will pinch hit for Mervis, and he flies out to center. Norby will pinch hit for Simon, and he hits a base hit to center, and he will go to second on a fielder's indifference, and Hill struck out looking to end the game. The Cubs take the series opener against the Marlins by a final score of 5-2. So my 3 stars for this game. My third star is going to go to Colin Ray, who picks up the win. He went 6 2/3 innings pitched, gave up 2 runs and 6 hits. He had 4 strikeouts. He got the win. The loss went to Cal Quantrill, and Pomeranz got the save. So like I said just a second ago, Colin Ray is my third star with those stats. My second star, and you could really go either way with it. They had very similar stat lines, but ultimately I went with Seiya Suzuki, who went 1 for 3. He had the home run and 2 RBIs, and my first star was Dansby Swanson, who went 2 for 4 with a home run and 2 RBIs. So that is the recap to the first game, and we will now head to game number 2. So in game number 2, the pitching matchup is Ben Brown versus Belazzo. So in the top of the first, Edwards struck out looking, Sanchez will fly out to left, and Wagaman will fly out to center. In the bottom of the frame, PCA will hit a base hit to right, Kyle Tucker will fly out to center, Suzuki flies out to left, and Bush will ground out to second. In the second inning, Ramirez will fly out to right. Sowers hits a home run to center to make it 1-0 Marlins. Mervis will ground out to short. Norby safe at first on a fielding error by Dansby Swanson, a throwing error. And Hill struck out swinging to end the inning. In the bottom of the second, Kelly will strike out looking. Swanson will ground out to third. And Moises Ballesteros, who makes his debut in this game, will ground out to second. In the top of the third, Sanaha will foul out to first. Edwards singles to right. Sanchez will fly out to center, and Wagaman will strike out swinging. In the bottom of the third, Nico Horner flies out to center. Lopez will ground out to short. PCA will hit a home run to tie the game at right field at 1 apiece, and then Tucker struck out looking. In the top of the fourth, Ramirez will fly out to right. Sowers will ground out to first, and Mervis will pop out to third. In the bottom of the fourth, Suzuki grounds out to third. Bush will hit a base hit to center. Kelly will hit another base hit to left, which will send Bush to second. Dansby Swanson will get walked to load the bases, and Ballesteros will ground it into a double play to end the inning. In the top of the fifth now, Norby will hit a triple to right. Hill struck out swinging, and Sanaha will ground it out to second, but Norby will score to make it 2-1 Marlins, and then Edwards struck out looking. In the bottom of the fifth, Nico Horner gets hit by the pitch. Lopez will ground it to a fielder's choice to first. Horner will be safe at second on a throwing error by Wagaman. Lopez will go to second, and Horner is safe at third on the error. Faucher will relieve Veloso for the Marlins, and PCA will hit a sac fly to left, which will score Nico Horner to tie the game up at 2. Kyle Tucker will ground it out to Faucher, and Lopez will go to third. Suzuki grounds it out to short to end the inning. In the top of the sixth, Sanchez will hit a base hit to center. Wagaman struck out swinging. Ramirez will hit a base hit to right, which will send Sanchez to second. Thielbar will relieve Ben Brown, and Sowers struck out swinging. Fortes will hit for Mervis, and Fortes will fly out to right. In the bottom of the sixth, Henriquez will pitch for the Marlins. Fortes is a designated hitter. Bush will fly out to center. Kelly will ground out to second, and Swanson struck out swinging. In the top of the seventh, with Merriweather on the bump for the Cubs, Norby will hit a home run to left field to make it 3-2 Marlins, and Merriweather's been struggling mightily. With that, Hill will hit a base hit to right, and he steals second. Sanaha lines out to left. Edwards will fly out to left. Sanchez will hit a base hit to left, which will score Hill, and Sanchez will go to second, 4-2 in favor of the Marlins. Wagaman gets walked. Ramirez will also get walked to load the bases. Ryan Presley will relieve Merriweather, and Sowers struck out swinging. In the bottom of the seventh, with Henriquez pitching for the Marlins still, Ballesteros will ground out to third. Nico Horner flies out to center. Justin Turner will hit for Lopez, and he gets walked. PCA struck out swinging to end the inning. Flexing on the bump for the Cubs in the eighth, Turner will go to third. Fortes will fly out to center. Norby struck out swinging, and Hill flies out to right. In the bottom of the inning, with Bender pitching for the Marlins, Tucker grounds out to short. Suzuki will ground out to third, and Bush struck out swinging 1-2-3 inning for the Marlins there. Top of the ninth for the Marlins, and Flexen still pitching for the Cubs. Sanaha grounds to second. Edwards will hit a base hit to left. Sanchez will get walked, which will send Edwards to second, 2 runners on. Wagaman will fly out to center, and Ramirez will ground it into a fielder's choice of short, and Sanchez is out at second. So we head to the bottom of the ninth, last looks for the Cubs. Tinoco is pitching for the Marlins. Kelly is safe at first on a fielding error by shortstop Edwards. Dansby Swanson will get walked, which will send 2 runners on. Ballesteros will ground it to a fielder's choice of second. Dansby Swanson will be out at second. Kelly will go to third. Brujan ran for Ballesteros, and Nico Horner will hit a base hit to center, which will score Kelly. Brujan will go to third. And then Justin Turner, who went for the pinch hit here, hits a double to left to win the game. Brujan scores, and Nico Horner scores a walk-off double for Justin Turner to win the game by a final score of 5-4 for the Cubs, their first walk-off of the season. So, big win for the Chicago Cubs. They take game 2 of this series, and they win the series off that. That is their 9th series win of the season. So the win goes to Flexen, and the loss obviously goes to Tinoco. So my 3 stars for this game. My 3rd star, I ended up going with Ben Brown, who went 5 1/3 innings pitched, gave up 2 runs, 5 hits, and he had 6 strikeouts. My 2nd star, I went with Justin Turner, who went 1 for 1. He had the 2 RBIs, the walk-off double, so I had to give him props there. But at the end of the day, I had to go with PCA for the 1st star. He went 2 for 3 with a home run and 2 RBIs. So big game for PCA, big game for Justin Turner and the Cubs, who come away with the win here by Saros with his MLB debut in this game. So you're seeing some top prospects get call-ups. You obviously saw Cade Horton. Now it's Ballesteros here. So with that, that is the end of Game 2. The Cubs take the series. They try to go for the sweep in Game number 3. So in Game 3, the pitching matchup is Weathers versus Jameson Taillon. So in the top of the first, Edwards struck out looking. Sanchez will ground out to second, and Ramirez struck out swinging in the bottom of the inning. Swanson grounds it out to Weathers. Tucker will get walked. Suzuki struck out swinging, and Kelly flies out to left. In the top of the second, Norby flies out to right. Sowers hits a home run to left center field to make it 1-0 Marlins. Wagaman struck out looking, and Mervis struck out swinging. In the bottom of the second, PCA struck out swinging. Nico Horner will ground it out to shortstop, and Miguel Amaya struck out looking. In the top of the third, Sandoval will ground it out to short, as well as Fortes. Edwards will line out to left. In the bottom of the inning, Justin Turner will hit a base hit to center. John Birdie lines out to right. Dansby Swanson will fly out to center, and Tucker will fly out to right. In the top of the fourth, Sanchez will ground it out to second. Ramirez will hit a home run to left center field to make it 2-0 in favor of the Miami Marlins. Norby will line out to first, and then Stowers hits a home run to right to make it 3-0 Marlins, and Wagaman fouls out to first to end the inning. So that's been a huge problem for Jameson Taillon. He's really been giving up a lot of home runs, and considering the injuries that the starting rotation has and the depth is kind of thin there for now, this is not good for Jameson Taillon. He really needs to find a way to, bounce back in a sense, because early on he hasn't looked phenomenal. He's had flashes of showing some stability, but as of right now, as of late, it's just not been enough from Jameson Taillon. So in the bottom of the fourth here, Suzuki will hit a home run to center to make it 3-1. Kelly will ground out to second. PCA struck out swinging, and Nico Horner flies out to center. In the top of the fifth, Mervis struck out swinging. Sandoval struck out looking, and Fortes grounds out to third. So a 1-2-3 inning for Taillon in the fifth. Weathers pitching in the fifth for the Marlins as Amaya will strike out looking. Justin Turner will line out to right, and Birdie grounds out to short. In the top of the sixth now, Edwards will line out to center. Sanchez will line out to right. Ramirez will hit a double to right, and Norby struck out swinging. In the sixth inning, and Faucher will relieve Weathers. Swanson will ground it out to short. Tucker will hit a double to left. Suzuki struck out swinging. Kelly will get walked. PCA reached on a bunt single to third. Kelly will go to second. Tucker third, so the bases are loaded. But Nico Horner struck out swinging. In the top of the seventh now, Pomeranz pitching for the Cubs. He will relieve Jameson Taillon. Sowers will fly out to center. Wagaman struck out swinging. Hill will pinch hit for Mervis, and he grounds out to third. In the bottom of the seventh, Bachar pitching for the Marlins. Stowers in left field, Wagaman at first, and Hill in center field. Amaya will line out to left. Turner will ground it out to short, and Birdie struck out swinging, so 1-2-3 inning there. In the top of the eighth, with Brad Keller pitching for the Cubs, Sandoval will ground it out to third. Fortes struck out swinging. Edwards will hit a base hit to right, and Sanchez will ground it out to short. In the bottom of the eighth, with Bender pitching for the Marlins, Swanson will hit a base hit to center, but Tucker will ground it to a double play. Then Suzuki grounds it out to second. In the top of the ninth, Porter Hodge pitching for the Cubs. Ramirez struck out swinging. Norby struck out swinging as well. Sowers will hit a triple to left. Wagaman gets walked, so there's runners in the corners. But Hill flies out to center to end the inning. Bottom of the ninth with Tinoco pitching for the Marlins. He's trying to bounce back after giving up that 2 RBI double walk-off from Justin Turner. Last looks for the Cubs in this one. Kelly struck out looking. PCA flies out to right. And Nico Horner grounds out to third. So Tinoco bounces back, and that's the end of the game. The Cubs are allergic to sweeps, and they lose the finale to the Miami Marlins by a final score of 3-1. So the offense was just dry in this game, all game. Suzuki had the lone home run. The win obviously goes to Weathers, went 5 innings pitched. He gave up a run and 2 hits. Taillon, 6 innings pitched. He gave up 3 runs and 4 hits. The save goes to Tinoco, his 4th of the season. So, again, the offense is dry. It just seems like the pitching doesn't click when the offense can, and the offense doesn't click when the pitching can. But I did say Taillon needs to be better, and he does. Overall, he did give up 6 innings. I wouldn't call it a quality start, but again, it just seems like the offense couldn't really get anything together in this game. And it really does seem like when they try to go for sweeps, they forget how to play baseball. I don't know why they do that, but they've only swept 1 series, and that was way back in the beginning of the year against the Athletics in Sacramento. So with that said, the Cubs are still 25-19. They are still on top of the National League Central, but however, with the loss, the St. Louis Cardinals are only 1 game back. They've been on a big winning streak. They won 9 games in a row, and then I think they lost 2 and 1 again. They had a doubleheader with the Phillies. So with that second win and the Cubs loss, they are back to being 1 game back. So the Cubs just need to keep winning. They have the Chicago White Sox up next for Rivals Weekend. I don't really think there needs to be much said there. The White Sox are just not as good as the Cubs. So, like the Marlins, this is a series that the Cubs should easily take. I just want at least 2 games because at this point, I wouldn't expect a sweep from this team until proven otherwise. However, tomorrow, Cade Horton will get his first start. So, obviously, in his debut, he wasn't starting. It was a bullpen game. Keller pitched the first inning, and then Cade Horton went in the second inning, pitched 4 innings. So, I'm very excited to see Cade Horton start for the first time against the Chicago White Sox. And again, it's Rivals weekend, so we'll see what happens there. So anyways, give me your thoughts on this series. I will see you after the White Sox series for that series recap. And that's all I got to say there. So again, give me your thoughts on this series. If you're interested in this content, feel free to like and subscribe. Follow us on Twitter at Cubs360X. So for now, this is Jack from Cubs360. And as always, go Cubs go.